Hello, welcome back to the Road to Episode 7, my ongoing series where I chart the road to the release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens on December 18, 2015. The last video I did for this series was using a green screen. You can probably see it just off camera there. My fiance bought one, and so I thought I'd use it, just try it out for a bit of fun. It was cool, but I don't think I'll continue doing that for this series. Just a bit of a fun experiment, really, as I talked about the Instagram trailer. And there's been so many bits of news over the past couple of weeks, as I said a couple of videos ago. With the news for Star Wars Episode 7 over the past few years, it's been a case of when it rains it pours, basically. And there's been droughts, and then it'll just pour with news. And right now I feel like, you know, we're just about to hit September, we're a few months off the release of the film. I feel like we're going to need to build an ark, basically, to withstand the absolute downpour of news that is just going to be coming thick and fast every single week. But there's nothing wrong about that. So I'm going to go back a couple of weeks to D23 and just kind of round up some of the stuff I didn't mention over the past couple of videos, mainly Rogue One, and then we'll get back into more Force Awakens stuff in the next video. So Rogue One has been renamed Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, not Rogue One Star Wars Anthology or Star Wars Anthology Rogue One. It's still going to be known as the Star Wars Anthology series, or the spin-off films, but as you can see, it's Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, and they officially announced the cast at D23. Obviously Gareth Edwards is directing it. He's the guy who did Monsters, Godzilla. Felicity Jones is playing the lead. You can see the cast picture up here. We knew she was going to be in the film, but then the rumoured cast members were confirmed. Diego Luna, Forrest Whitaker, Ben Mendelsohn, Donnie Yen, Alan Tudyk, and Mads Mikkelsen. And so yeah, that's interesting because Alan Tudyk, who's one of my favourite characters from Firefly and Serenity, he'll be playing a performance capture character, so another digital character. I don't know how that's going to fit into Rogue One, but it'll be interesting to see. The director, Gareth Edwards, was not there at D23 because he was out filming the film, so it's being made right now. There's been like set pictures and things like that, but I'm staying a bit kind of far removed from that. I'm still mainly focused on Episode 7. And then they announced, I mean, what, you know, D23, you know, Disney, they want to kind of, and Lucasfilm, they want to tell everyone what's coming as far as Star Wars is concerned, and so they reaffirmed that Episode 8, coming out in 2017, will still be directed by Rian Johnson, and that the Han Solo movie will be directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. And they also revealed who the official director for Episode 9 is going to be. I'm not sure if they should be looking for a director this early. Maybe they should. Maybe they're really making an effort to kind of have the films be very kind of, you know, to plan ahead basically, and to have everything set in stone. This is what's happening in 7 and 8 and 9, and these are the people we want to kind of make that happen basically. And they've announced that it is Colin Trevorrow, who directed Jurassic World, which I was not a big fan of. I really enjoyed it as a fun, entertaining film, but I was really annoyed, really, that it got so much praise for being a great film when it is anything but a great film, and it's one of the biggest films ever made now, which is crazy to me. I think, I don't know, the quality wasn't there for me on Jurassic World. He can direct action well, but characters and story? Nope. So I'm kind of concerned about Episode 9. Hopefully Lawrence Kasdan will stick around and do the writing for the film. That's all I can hope. And, you know, I don't know. I just feel a little bit concerned about it because I'm really invested in this sequel trilogy. You know, it's something I've wanted to see since I was a kid. Episode 7, 8, and 9, the much rumoured and mythical almost, you know, sequel trilogy. And I feel like it's in great hands with J.J. Abrams. I feel like it's in amazing hands with Rian Johnson. And then Colin Trevorrow, a bit sketchy on that one, I don't know, but again, he's made the third biggest film of all time, so obviously they're going to get a director who produces results and money. But I don't know, I'm not saying he's a bad director, but I just wasn't impressed by the story or the characters at all in Jurassic World. It was fun for what it was in terms of the action and the, you know, just the novelty of it, but Star Wars is more than that to me, so I'm a bit concerned about that. Also, J.J. Abrams announced, I don't know if I mentioned this at all, that the running time is starting to shape up for The Force Awakens, and that the estimated running time will be 124 to 125 minutes, which is very close to the running time of A New Hope, which would be nice, kind of connective kind of thing there. But every Star Wars film has been 2 hours long, if not, you know, a bit longer. I think some of the prequels ran a bit longer than 2 hours, maybe 2 hours 10 push basically. And then obviously you have the original trilogy with their special edition counterparts, which run a little bit over 2 hours as well. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that there's going to be a full 2-hour film, not a 90-minute one. That'd be quite weird. Star Wars to me, it just needs to be a 2-hour film, just based on what's gone the past, almost 40 years. But yeah, that's kind of cool to hear that they're honing in on the running time. They must be pretty close to kind of nailing down a final cut, which is really exciting. And then, of course, they announced, Bob Iger, he unveiled that there were going to be Star Wars expansions in Disneyland and Disney World. 14-acre Star Wars theme parks, basically. The areas will feature 2 major attractions, one that puts guests in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. You'll be able to walk onto the Millennium Falcon and fly it. How amazing is that? And another which will crash land viewers in the midst of a major land battle between the Resistance and the First Order. So they're really trying to tie it into the new films, basically. And although I guess by the time these theme parks even are made and built and open to the public, the sequel trilogy will probably have been and gone. So that's going to be the current Star Wars thing, I guess. There's some concept art, released. If you take a look, I mean, it just looks gorgeous. I don't know how it's going to look in real life. I mean, concept art always looks, a lot better than things actually do turn out to be in, in the flesh, in the intangible form. But it looks really cool. It's apparently set on a never-before-seen alien world in the Star Wars galaxy, located somewhere near the edge of wild space. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. It'd be great to go there in the future. I mean, I'm guessing like 10 years down the line. If there was a Star Wars theme park when I was a kid, I mean, that would just be unbelievable. I went to Disneyland when I was about 11 years old, I think I was, and it was just when Star Wars Episode 1 was coming out, and I was in Disneyland and they had this kind of hut set up and it was like selling toys. I went inside and it was wall-to-wall Phantom Menace toys, and it was so exciting. And that was just a little tent with some Star Wars toys. So imagine a whole park Star Wars related. I mean, you'll be able to go into like Mos Eisley Cantina to have a drink. I mean, it just sounds incredible. I'm not really the biggest theme park guy, but when it comes to stuff like Star Wars, that's definitely something that excites me. And finally, one more bit from Rogue One. Mads Mikkelsen, who's going to be in the film, who's a great actor. I've loved him in many films, particularly The Hunt a couple of years ago, which was amazing. He was fantastic in that. He was interviewed in a local newspaper, which has been translated by Google, but this is kind of how the interview went. On IMDb, your name is listed just after Felicity Jones in Rogue One. It suggests that it is a great role. Is it a big role? And he says, I've not actually noticed that. It's probably because the others might not have come on the list yet. But is it a big or small role, they asked him. And he says, it's a very important role. That's as much as I can say about it. And then they ask, are you the bad guy? Now that seems to make sense. He is a guy who plays the bad guy a lot, in Casino Royale and... well, I don't know about Hannibal, the TV series. I haven't really watched that, but he definitely plays kind of the more, more of the antagonist than the protagonist. And he replies in the question, are you the bad guy? He says, no, my character is not actually a bad guy. And then I can say no more, really. I can say the movie will be shot in Iceland and England, and the filming will last for 3 months. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Interesting stuff from Mads Mikkelsen. I would have nailed him down as a villain type for a Star Wars film, so that's kind of interesting to see how that's going to pan out. Maybe I thought he'd be some kind of like Grand Moff Tarkin type. Obviously this is the time of the Empire. The film's going to take place in the times of the original trilogy, just before, in fact, the original trilogy, as they steal the plans to the Death Star that you see in the beginning of A New Hope. So I'm excited to see that, just those little kind of pockets of the story that you never really saw or maybe even thought about, and they can now make a film about that. The possibilities are endless as long as they keep the quality good and the film's entertaining and written well and done well with the effects and stuff. I mean, this really can be a golden age for kind of just Star Wars films, and just a lot of fun to see these on the big screen. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned next time, which will be straight away. I'm posting loads of videos at the same time, and yeah, I'll see you in that one.
I don't know, Pod 7.